until it just couldn't hold anything anymore. They were very sweet, all of them. It doesn't have any enchantment, but it makes me feel good and with the memory of my students. So that works. Coffee acquired, Lucevar. Okay. Then, Luce, if you head to my Discord, you should see a channel, and I'm in there. It's called Let's Talk. I'm here going to watch and sort my dialogue at Pathfinding Out. Go for it, Shadow. Looking forward. So you're doing a proper quest mod. That's very cool. Hey, Luce. Say something so we know that we can hear you.
Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Okay, I can hear you fine. I'm gonna crank you up a little bit for the chat, I think. All right, chat, I need you to do the usual sound check. Can you hear Lucevar speak loud and clear, or just clear?
Yeah, clear would be a start at least.
Yes, I still
Hello, hello, chat. How are you all doing?
+5 to heart enchantment. I can hear you fine. Yes, a quest mod. Okay, sound good. So I'm gonna put my Discord away.
Awesome. Next step is understanding my strange accent.
It's not strange at all. And honestly, the chat is used to me speaking primarily with a British accent, but my French just, gets in there when obviously I don't want it to. So if they, they're good. They're good with accents. And if they're not, they'll shut up about it.
You have them well trained.
No, not even. Accent is good. All right. So the plan for today is to mod. That's for sure. It's my last day off before going back to work. So I'm like, the whole week I was in a modding frenzy. It's like, gotta mod, gotta mod, gotta mod.
Gotta make the most use out of it.
Exactly, which is why
the Monday after a time off is just so depressing.
So like when I look at my calendar, it's like for 1 week I didn't teach any classes. So 4 days before my time off, I had many lessons. So all those, basically the classes I should have taught this week, students either booked them before or after. So the good news is I'm not losing much money. That's good. But yeah. Anyway, gotta
Bad news
mod.
is that net time off is not a thing.
Yes, it's just not the same. Are you very impressed with the amount of mods that we are getting?
Oh yeah, I think we had something like 75 mods in the first 3 days. I was absolutely blown away.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. I mean, this week, 84. Did the week start with the first? What is the date today? That is the syndrome of the holiday.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Nexus is counting this week from.
Somewhere around Saturday, depending on where you live, I guess. So probably some 90, close to 100 mods, which is pretty cool. Now, I'm not seeing mods from you, but I know you're working on something. Do you want to tell us about it?
You must have missed one then. I did release a mod day 1.
Oh, day 1. Okay, I'm gonna have to go all the way back then.
Called More Exclusive Factions.
Oh yes, that was. I did not even click that it was you. I saw it. But then there's just too many mods. And let's go with date published. So, all right.
That's the problem with having an influx of so many mods. It's hard to keep track of them all.
And especially now, there was just so many mods. This is still the 4th. My goodness.
Okay, just while we're on that page, the slowed floaters that Melchior Dark made.
The cottage?
No, the slowed floaters.
Oh yes.
Giant bonnet replacer.
I mean, the cottage is here. Did I just skip it?
Yeah, the cottage is very cute too.
It's adorable. I just want that place in real life. Floating. There it is. That's the one.
Yes, that's the one.
It's both cute and ugly.
Yes, exactly. Like, it's hideous, but it's also adorable. Yeah. I think it's the way it moves its little tentacles. It's just, I want to pull them like baby's toes.
Yeah, and that is actually the concept art. Slowed floater. I would really love to see a mod that adds the slowed. Like we have a couple of armor mods, and we have a model or two for the sloweds, but there's supposed to be so much about them.
Yeah, there's definitely room to deal with them more. I know in Teleron Chronicles we have a slowed, and Ashtar's armor mods include quite a few sloweds in slaver areas,
Yeah,
which is really atmospheric.
it's a lovely one. I'm trying to make sense of that. So there's an at crop. Is that supposed to be the slowed floater?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's like a very tall cliff somewhere, and the slowed
It's,
floaters are like arriving in at the skyport.
well, it's a slowed city, I guess. Yeah, I would really like to see like a proper, not just the models and the armor. They're really cool, like definitely, but something that tells us a little more about, because it's a whole culture and civilization, and I know nothing apart from the fact that they're ugly and they put their babies in soap.
Yeah, slowed soap is not soap.
It's not soap. I know, I ate it. It tasted worse than soap.
Ooh, I really don't want to think about what slowed soap tastes like. That would put me off coffee, and almost nothing can put me off coffee.
Maybe slowed soap can. So yeah, that's a lovely one. That's a very cute one. And we were looking for your mod. Let's go back. And I think I saw it, and you'll have to forgive me. I did not download it because, in fact, I'm making a mod that does the exact opposite for me. My goodness, we're still on the 2nd of May. Or on the 6th page. Here we go, 1st of May. Getting there.
Oh, there we go. I see it. Oh, you scrolled past it. It's on the right-hand side.
There it is. It's because you don't have a fancy thumbnail. Don't you
Taking
know?
advertising screenshots is not my forte. It's just
Sorry. You know what? At first, I was like, oh crap, gotta make a Nexus page, which takes so long. It's just dreadful. But I'm starting to enjoy it. I'm still butchering textures in GIMP or PaintNet. Like it's just so bad. I have GIMP, PaintNet, and I even have an old version of Photoshop, but I don't know that very well. And of course, the good old classic Paint. And the sad story is I know how to do certain things in certain of those. So to make anything, I start with GIMP. I usually go back to paint.net, and I go back and forth between them because I don't know how to do everything in a single app.
as long as it works in the end.
Sure, it's just not very efficient.
The right tool for the right job.
Yeah.
You've got that down to a fine art. Precision use of your tools.
As long as we get something. Yes, I do like that. I'll zoom in so it's more comfortable for everyone to read. Yes, and I was wondering about this because I thought that Keris's religions elaborated already made that if you were a high-ranking member in one or the other, you couldn't get far in the other.
It does actually. I didn't really think about compatibility very much when I was making this one. So what happened with this was that in January, Gavrilo, 93, mentioned this as an idea to me and sort of drew up a design document with factions that they thought should be mutually exclusive. And I said that I would make this mod, and then it took me months and months and months to actually implement it. But here we are, got there eventually. Gavrilo has the patience of a saint.
So idea and design, dialogue and implementation. So it was Gavrilo's idea, and then you came up with what faction were mutually exclusive. And then you had the joy of tinkering in the construction set.
I'm writing random flavor dialogue that no one is ever going to see, which is my absolute jam.
But that's
Just
good.
one really obscure NPC a line of dialogue that will only appear if you've completed this faction quest and the main quest, and it's just a random throwaway line in their background. Why not? That seems like a perfect use of time.
I like it. I mean, for you, it's like Easter eggs, right? It's like whoever is actually taking the time to read is gonna find those and go, "Wow, that is so cool." Was
Yeah, exactly.
was that here all along? You know, that's what I love, that when you find something and you go, I don't know where that comes from. Maybe it's the game, maybe it's a mod. No, it's the game. No, it's the mod. So
Do you
it's
know
like finding a
where
treasure.
it's really good for that, actually? Like, Balmora has so much, like, obscure dialogue just hidden away. Just lines that only one NPC has. And that if you don't go around talking to everyone, you just miss it. And you miss,
Huh.
like, backstories. So all of the South Wall NPCs have, like, a unique comment on Chaos Casades, for example. And one of the temple ladies will tell you a bit about Rannis's backstory.
Mm-hmm. Like
And
I must confess, I
as
don't read
well.
dialogue in Balmora anymore.
Yeah, just because we've been playing the game for so long, we just skim past it. I do the same.
Prof is saying that he gave a line of dialogue to a hostile NPC in his mod, but you can only get it if you calm them. Like, who is going to calm a hostile NPC just to talk to them and see what they have to say? But if somebody does, they're gonna be so rewarded for that. I think it's very cool.
I really like that. Just rewarding the pacifist playthrough.
And just the curious person. That's one of the things I really liked in you remember when we worked on Shell Overground and
Yes.
you made that super intricate cave. I still get lost in it, like just like I can't do it. But I really like that there were those nooks and crannies, and it was super hard to get there. But if you did, there was something. It doesn't have to be much. It doesn't have to be an amazing artifact or anything. It's just something, and you go like, yes, yes. So same thing with dialogues. Delina, you read all the dialogues in Balmora. It's worth doing once or twice. Okay, fine. The next time I will role play properly someone who's never oh my goodness, I can't speak. Copy. Someone who's never set foot in Balmora and is genuinely interested in everything people have to say. Because even if I have read those, it's 15 years ago, I think. So you think that is actually going to be a conflict?
No, I don't think so. I think what's likely to happen is that my mod will just take over. So you'll get barred slightly earlier than you would in Keris's.
Which is fine, really.
It's not game breaking.
No. Castlevania
No, there's
Temple.
definitely there's an update coming for this mod because some of the exclusions are a bit more anti-fun than I would really like them to be. Definitely some of them should
Such
have hoops
as
to jump through to join a conflicting faction, or like conditions that you have to meet, or at least just a comment from the recruiting NPC about, hey, I'm not so sure that I should let you in, but you seem solid, so I'll make an exception for you, sort of thing.
yeah. Like I'm saying, Mage's Guild and House Tilvani mostly, so there's a way around it.
Yeah, the
Mage's Guild and Temple. This will change. Okay. All right. I'm trying to think, why would they be completely exclusive?
yeah. So this is one of the ones that I think should change. But the reasoning given in version 1 is that the Mages Guild has necromancers. That it hasn't outlawed the practice of necromancy,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's a distrust there from the temple side, and the Mages Guild feels persecuted in terms of what they can research. So,
However, I thought the Mages Guild was not cool with necromancers. Those, the orc. Forgot her name because I'm crap with
yeah, the orc is hiding her necromancy because the
of the temple.
Yeah, and the Morrowind authorities look severely down on it, but necromancy isn't actually outlawed by the Mages Guild
Not
until
actually outlawed.
Cannibal Traven and Oblivion.
Fair point. Fair point. The temple is hostile in dialogue regarding the Mages Guild as well. Okay, so this will be somewhat softened, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's going to be changed into one of the. You're a member of the Mages Guild. How do we know that we can trust you to abide by our laws and not to be practicing dark magic? So you would need a high disposition to convince them to let you join, rather than it being completely exclusive.
That makes sense. Imperial Legion, Fighters Guild, and House Redoran exclusive.
Yeah, so this one's been controversial. Like, this mod is quite controversial. I think we have about as many comments as downloads. We've had some really good discussions in the comments thread here. But our reasoning there was basically pick one army to join. If you're committed to being a soldier of the Imperial Legion, you can't have split loyalties and also be working for a mercenary group and like a native political power.
I can really see how House Redoran would not want to hire someone who's basically a mercenary, because that's the Fighters Guild. That's what they are.
Yeah.
However, the Imperial Legion, to me, because it's an army, it's structure, there are rules, there's guideline and honor, all that kind of important. So I don't see it being, at opposite ends, apart from the fact that one is the Empire and the other one is
yeah, so the way we looked at it is that there's a lot of mutual respect there in terms of like respect for their ideals and their fighting ability and such, but the loyalty, if it came down to it, would you side with us or them? And I think that both the Imperial Legion and the Grey Houses would look badly upon someone trying to do both.
Yeah, I can see that. Is there, I don't even like, the dialogue much better than I do in Morrowind. When you try to join a faction, do they look at if you have a bounty?
No, that's another feature lined up for version 2, that House Redoran and the House Redoran will refuse you if you have a bounty.
Exactly.
The Imperial Legion will
refuse
you if you have a high bounty, but in real life, armies often used like jails as recruiting centers, essentially. So petty criminals would be given the choice between jail, transportation to a penal colony, or join the army. So I thought that if you have a low bounty, maybe up to 200, and like Darius would give you a choice of join the army and I'll wipe this debt for you, or go to jail.
Yeah, I can see that. I think that would be a good addition. Whereas obviously the Thieves Guild wouldn't care. I'm guessing the modathon wouldn't want somebody with a bounty because it shows you're sloppy. Whatever crime you cover, sloppy about it.
Yeah. I don't think, just in the name of not being totally anti-fun, I don't think I would make the modathon refuse a bounty, but I think they would comment on it.
Yeah, it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't have to be outright. Oh no, you have a bounty. Go clear it up and then come back, because that's just like, oh, crap. Sorry, I picked up a towel by accident. It happened to me. I was kicked out of the Blaze.
Yes. Oh no, I moved the
I will never forgive them for that. So you're right, that would be anti-fun, but to have a comment where they say, okay, well, you seem to have a bounty, so you'll have to prove yourself, or you'll have to be careful. You can't afford to be caught. Though with the modathon, you have the writs. It's better not to be caught anyway. Just flavor dialogue. I agree.
I think, is it Keris's mod, Morathon Polish, that gives you a reward for completing the task without having to use a writ, or punishes you
Yeah,
to use it?
I like that. Membership in the Morathon. When you say other Donver faction, is it Great Houses exclusively, or
Great Houses and Temple? So for the Great Houses and the Temple, it's sort of it's a loyalty thing again. They don't necessarily want someone who might turn around and assassinate their members.
but has
and
a
it's
paper
also a
to say
separation
it's okay.
of roles. So the Moragtong plays this really important role in Morrowind politics in terms of being the arbitrator of house wars and sort of assassinating people instead of being all-out battles where civilians would suffer. So we thought that there was like the spiritual role of the temple, and then the political role, and then there's arbitrator role, and shouldn't necessarily.
I would have assumed that the temple would, at least officially, sort of be neutral when it comes to politics.
I've never been quite sure, because we don't really see much from Vivek and Almalexia, definitely not from Sotasil in like the current era, but in the past they were definitely very active in politics. So I'm not sure if there's as much separation of church and state as you sort of would expect from a modern nation.
Yeah, true. True. Okay, well, looking at the description again, it's actually not. I don't think that's the one I thought of. I thought it actually made it so that you could not. I don't know, maybe I got most confused because that's not the one I was thinking of. And a lot of it, I like that. I'm looking forward to seeing what sort of changes you have or what you want to add and tweak. That's definitely something I would recommend to people who can't, finish a game, that keep restarting. Because I really think that one of the reasons, at least that's how it works for me, which is not proof that it's the truth, but for me, I would find my mods, install the mods, blah, 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 create a character. And then I would go to Balmora and I would do all the quests in Balmora on autopilot, obviously, because I know them, and that was boring. And then by the time I had done that, I was kind of bored with it. And anyway, I would look at other mods and rinse and repeat. And so I think we've all been there. And what really, really saved me from not being able to play the game, really, I couldn't play it anymore, was creating a character, but really deciding from the get-go, this guy hates the Empire. Forget about Fighters Guild, Mages Guild, Imperial Legion, and Imperial Cult. So by role-playing better and cutting out whole sections of the game, basically, I found that I could play the character much longer and discover things I had never done before. So this does that, basically.
That is exactly what I was hoping to do with this mod. It's to really force you to think about what your character would do and sort of force you to make trade-offs in what you join.
I like that. I like that.
Even when they're not making a trade-off as such, to comment when you're trying to do something that would be considered out of the ordinary in universe, so that there's a reaction to what you're trying to do.
I like it. I don't need it because I stream, and if I stray out of the defined role for my character, the chat is going to tell me about it. Like if I forget to be evil, for example. But it's hard being evil.
Being evil is hard. Like there's Dragon Age Origins, I sometimes try to play an evil character and do all the evil quests, and I can't do it. I always end up like defaulting back to the good path because it just
it's
no,
just super
I
hard.
can't do it.
And again, we started out a Baldur's Gate 2 run. We're like, we're gonna be evil because I wanted to have Edwin and Viconia. We're average. Like we can't. We try. It's like, okay, let's do the evil thing. We can't do it. It's just terrible. And the game where I really wanted to do an evil run was Knights of the Old Republic. The second one in particular, because I really enjoyed it. But again, like I was given the choice. I was like, accept the quest, accept the reward, and wish them good luck, or kill them and take the money. And I'm like, well, why? What do I accomplish? Just for the sake of being evil? What's the point? And I always feel that you have to forego a number of quests. It limits you greatly, I think.
It does. The evil route just isn't worthwhile in so many cases.
Or maybe it could be that in the game it's not as much thought out. There's very few games that are as rich in terms of things to do for an evil character as it is for a good one, I would say. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, which makes sense. I think most people want to do the right thing.
The exception, and I still have to play that, but I've been Tyranny. Wow, this is so sad though. I put Tyranny, and the first search is actually the video game, not, I don't know, something. So this game, which is solely, RPG, CRPG, shows the pictures. Totally up my alley, but essentially, it's in French. Well, you can do your French as well. But basically, there are no good choices there. Like, you're in a dystopia, it's a bad place, and whatever you do, some people are gonna die and suffer. I haven't had the courage to play it yet.
That sounds really depressing.
It sounds so difficult, right? And the other one is Frostpunk, thank you. Which is in my, it is. Frostpunk also, and there's the one where you have to decide between switching off the heating so everybody freezes because you don't have enough workers, or put the children to work. You're like, so that should be interesting as well. Varian, you're saying most RPG games lead up to a single ending, which is typically relatively good focus. Yeah, I feel like when there's a secondary path evil, it's, I don't know, it doesn't get as much attention, maybe. Oh, Prof, you're so right. I was actually kicked out of House Redoran because the modathon gave me a mission to kill a House Redoran member, and nobody detected me, but I was kicked out anyway. It was very frustrating.
Yeah, one of the difficulties with making mods like this is, like, we have no good way of detecting whether or not you were seen doing a thing. So the quest has to make assumptions, and
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think I had to use the console to get back in the game. Don't remember. The evil experiences tend to be sideline element and don't really affect the world significantly. Yeah, I agree with that. There's the exception, I would say, and I was able to play evil. It was Might and Magic, Might and Might, well done me. 7. I don't know, are you familiar with the Might and Magic, not Heroes? No. Not Heroes, not Heroes. The old Might and Magic 7. There we go. Are you familiar with this game franchise?
I think I maybe played one of them, but it would have been a long time ago.
Look at those pixels. But anyway, in this one, yeah, there was a mini game. In this one, at some point, you get to choose if you want to be good or evil. So they both, like the good side and the evil side, they both get different characters, different quests, different places, because from the moment you choose one, the two happen at the same time or in parallel. So I was able to play evil there, though I had to be a leech and I looked ugly. Nothing is ever
the other
perfect.
thing that stops me from playing the evil route. It's like games like Fable, which make you really ugly if you go the evil route.
Mm-hmm. That was really cool, though. I really like that in Fable, how your appearance would change.
Yeah, it was a cool feature, but vanity definitely kicked in at some point.
My favorite part, the only way I would enjoy being evil was to go to the classroom and say a horrible thing that would scare the children. And I already was a teacher then. Shame on me, but I thought that was hilarious. Speaking, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to move on to a different topic. I was going to look at the other mods.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Right. Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of vanity, we now have all sorts of clothing to use.
Yes.
So.
Oh, you've been on an absolute roll recently.
Well, I had a week off. So, like, I think I got 4 mods published during the week, which feels like a lot, but I did nothing else. Okay, so it's not like I can mod very quickly, not like Tell Shadow. It's just it took me a lot of time. So these are not too long to create. It was creating wares that took a lot of time because I had to make sure that the master file was ready for anything and everything. So any sort of item added by any sort of mod would actually find a place. And I spent a lot of time thinking of how I had to build the mods so that it would be super easy for the players, but super easy for the modders as well. So that took time, but now it's done and I just have to make the mods. Looking forward to that. Do you want to tell us about your Evanheart Tavern mod, or is that top secret?
It's not top secret. I haven't really progressed far enough to share screenshots yet, apart from to all of the people I pestered last night for ideas, because initially I thought, so for the chat, I'm working on a mod that overhauls the interior of the Six Fishes Tavern in Evanheart. And initially I thought, well, it's called the Six Fishes. I could go for a nautical theme. But Evanheart doesn't really seem... It has docks, but it's not really a nautical themed town. And you've got all of these East Empire Company officials and traders and guardsmen hanging around the place and like visiting nobles and like administrative deals going down and such. So I've converted the entire top floor into like a fancy officers lounge where like the Navy and Legion officers can hang out and gamble and just relax off duty, and easy people can come in and do shady backroom deals, etc. And then I've got the common guardsmen.
Would that be a good place for shady business with the officials being this close? Like literally on one side you have the fort and the duke, and on the other side you have, okay, yeah, the trading companies. They're not exactly.
I think there's different levels of shady. I think the stuff that goes on here is a bit like the stuff that goes on in government in real life.
Deals under the table.
Yeah, under the table, like plausibly okay, like just about within the rules or just slightly outside of it. We don't really want anyone to know because it would cause a bit of a scandal. That sort of thing.
I like that. I've seen some of the screenshots, and I like that you put the fish in there because the 6 fishes. And I like what you did with the 8 plate to actually add the 8 plates there. Like, why is it called the 8 plates anyway? It makes no sense. So some people might feel that it's a little literal, but at the same time, the names of these places, they have to come from something. So I, for one, I'm really pleased to see, oh, there are 8 plates. It's called the 8 plates. Or there are 6 fishes. So I like that very much.
So currently I have 5 fish. I think I'm going to leave 1 fish out and just make a running joke of it that people get very drunk and they look for the 6th fish and the proprietor keeps telling them, no, you'll find it eventually. Maybe another drink will help you find it. Just to keep you going while you're searching, and just, it's not there, so they never find it.
I like that. I like that. At first, when you say when people are drunk, it's like, oh, in fact, there's only 3, but they see double. But your explanation works. I like that very much. That's a good one. Yeah, I like that. Or one could have been stolen, but you're not gonna put the 6th one anywhere. Because if there's that sort of running joke, I'm gonna be I'm not drunk. Me as a player, I'm not drunk. I can find it. But it won't be anywhere to be found.
And I'll have to add some dialogue to support that, of course, because it's no fun if there's just a fish missing and nothing ever acknowledges that.
Yeah, just a line that I was stolen, or nobody knows where it went. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure you'll think of something.
There's conspiracy theories among the regulars.
Yes.
He must be hiding it somewhere.
Or maybe it's the result of a bet. I don't know. Yeah, so many possible stories. Try another drink. It'll help you find it. I think it's a really good. It's a smart idea from what's the name of the Agni? That's the one. Agni would be. That would be a very smart selling argument. Would be cool to tie in a secret entrance to your Evanheart sewer mod from the 6 fishes. What do you think about that?
I need to figure out a way to do that without being reliant on Evanheart Underworks, but yep.
I would actually. I would make it I would have a trapdoor with a ladder that takes you to the. So hang on, that would be the central sewers. I don't remember.
Yeah.
We mapped it to be exactly underneath Evanheart.
There's the castle sewers, and then there's the middle island, and then there's the dockside sewers.
So that would probably the central sewer. Name it exactly the same name as the cell, but it's gonna be just a small bit of sewers with 2 grates that whatever message they won't budge. They're rusted shut. Whatever you want to say, but in there's the 6 fish swimming. And that's how 2 ideas are merged together. Put some fish scale behind a keg or something. Like somebody must have stolen the fish and that's all that's left of it. A Khajiit probably did it.
Yes.
so many different backstories.
There's an EC Khajiit. We'll just blame it all on him. He clearly stole the fish.
Yeah, who stole the fish must be a
ate the
Khajiit.
fish.
That Khajiit ate it. That must be it. Yeah, too many theories about the 6 fish now.
Started a new target for conspiracy theories. I love it.
Excellent. So yes, Parisian, I think the sewer thing would work, and even though it's not the same mod, if it's just a tiny section of the sewers, it would give the illusion that it's attached to the rest of it. Slaughterfish tastes like tuna, so the Khajiit can't resist. I think from the lore, we know that slaughterfish is just so bad we can't eat it. Lucy would know better. You're a Lord Beard.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Not that far.
I can't compete with R0 or MD or the true Lawbeards.
The true ones. But wasn't there something about the slaughterfish?
I know they can eat the scales as a crunchy snack.
Yum yum.
I vaguely remember something about the flesh of slaughterfish being too mealy to be pleasant, but
let's find out. Slaughterfish, small, aggressive, we knew that. With teeth, we knew that. All over, we also knew that. Large groups in swarms, I don't know. Yes, they're big because they have plenty to. I saw meal and I was like, aha! But no. Species, culture. Okay.
It
Is there
says
the word
they're
food?
also fit for consumption
You see that?
in culture, second paragraph.
Oh, you're already down there. Wow. Gotta love the daggerfall. Okay, so the scales are dried and consumed as a crunchy treat. There we go. The flesh is described as mealy and noisome. I don't really know what that means. It doesn't sound good, but I don't really know what that means.
I'm not sure how to describe it. I think mealy means it's got like a dry, like unpleasant to eat texture, and then noisome is like it
Disagreeable,
tastes
unpleasant,
bad.
and bad smell. Wow, they're selling it. However, in Nordic areas, they consider it a delicacy. All right. So for the Nord, slaughterfish, yummy. For everybody else, stinky. Got it. Ooh, and Cyrodiil, slaughterfish pie. Extremely. So which one? Noisome is for the smell. How does that? How does that go together? Okay, I didn't know this one. Noisome, extremely offensive smell. I've learned something.
Yes, thank you, Twitch chat. The etymology there must be quite interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how you got from noise to smells bad.
Because then, I think of words like fearsome. That's something to research for some other time. Smell and taste are linked. That is very true. Very, very true. There's some foods that are just bad because they taste the same way they smell. The exception would be cheese. Cheese smells atrocious, but is yummy.
Yes, exactly.
They would make a joke about Nords being numbed by their own odor. Yeah, maybe they're just completely like they don't smell anything anymore. So maybe slaughterfish compared to the average Nord is fine. It doesn't come from noise, it comes from an older word for annoy. Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's really interesting how like we go, even like obviously I know English and French best, so like from one language to the other you have the same word that were sort of used differently in both languages, and they end up meaning things that are quite different. And it's always fun to see that, like in French we have célibataire, and that means single. You're just single, you're not in a couple, you're not married. And then in English you have celibacy, which is not just being single, it's just not getting any. And so we went from the same word to different things, really. Okay, right. So 6 fishes. Do you think you'll manage to publish it before the modathon?
Yes, I think so. So the clutter will take a while. Mostly what'll hold me up though is writing some dialogue, because you can't really add a whole new section with new NPCs and then just leave them with nothing to say. That's no fun.
It would be really nice to, just like what you did with oh my goodness, very French, the House of Earthly Delights. Just a little bit of flavor dialogue, so it makes the whole place worth exploring again, I guess.
That's what I'm hoping to do. Maybe a small quest. I've added a betting book, sort of based on the betting books from the old clubs in London, like White's and Brooks, of just like these rich people who've like they've got nothing better to do. Like they're sitting around on guard duty, and in the evenings they're coming to the club and they're making wild bets about this and that and something completely insane.
You did mention gambling. Is there going to be a chance for the player to bet on anything, gamble on anything?
Possibly. Like I know like Tia and
Dice 3, no, that's not what I
PT
want.
are thinking about adding like gambling games in, but I don't know how far they've gotten in terms of implementing that, and I don't know if my skills are up to implementing a gambling game.
Just beat them to it. I'm pretty sure I saw was it a resource? Not board game. The game, you remember this one by Fligurity?
Possibly. It's
It's
not ringing a bell at the minute.
I'm
I
not
know
saying.
Antares did Game of Three Cups, which we used in Teleron Chronicles, but that's very Dunmer, I think.
Yeah. This is not good enough. Let's go to Great House Figurative because I think there's a screenshot on his mod page. This one, however, requires MGE featured modders. That's how you can tell the really old people. There. And did I see you there, Danina, as well? I think. Yes. Really old people. Here we go. But Fligurity. My mod could potentially include a pilotable ship. Oh wow! But then I looked at the robot script in Fishing Academy. That's like any sort of a riding or vehicle scripting, and with MWSC is just massive, and even then it's quite clunky. I don't know if anyone, some of our Lua Mensers would give us a little writing guar. We're waiting for Merlord. Okay, I'm just looking, there we go, the gambler. And so there's this NPC, really quite ugly, but when you talk to the NPC, you agree to play, and when you roll, you actually see what you roll and what he roll, and it's just a matter of having the higher number, I think. Like, the game itself is very simple, but back in the days, having that appear on your screen was quite something.
Even with modern MGE, I don't think we have anything like this. It was really innovative for its day. Like, Fligurity was an absolute wizard, way ahead of his time.
It's true. So many of the MWSC mods that we had by then were his, and they were doing the impossible already, and now we can do more than the impossible. But yeah.
We live in a good time. 2090 is coming.
Yeah.
Way ahead of schedule.
Parisian, you're asking if there's been an update on Necrocraft development. No, I haven't seen anything on the Discord, to be honest. So I'm gonna say no. Have you read anything? I'm not keeping up very, very well with everything on the Discord, and I think Necrocraft was being like all the information was in OG and RDF server, which they've since closed. So I don't even think that Necrocraft actually has a home, or at least one that we can see. No, I'm looking on my Discord, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, the last update I can see for Necrocraft was January 5th. So, unfortunately, I think not. You never know, Vitruvian Guar might come back and just surprise us with a modathon release.
I hope so, because I really, really liked it. And like, all the mods from Vitruvian Guars are totally up my alley. I think there was a class.
The Speechcraft mod? So good.
I like the class starting spells, but like, I'm pretty sure if I just go and look at all of their mods, loved it. Not using it. Oh, no, I have it. I am using it. I am using absolutely 100% of Vitruvian Guar's mods. I'm not even using all of Merlot's mods.
Because he hasn't updated some of them to Lua yet, so we need to harass him a bit more, right?
Yeah, there's still work to be done. So yeah, hopefully Necrocraft will get an update. Well, not an update and a release as well. Hopefully, waiting for that. Is there a two that you know is being worked on, but you just can't wait to get your hands on?
A numeral sound mod I'm really looking forward to. The footsteps in Morrowind drive me absolutely up the wall. So
Actually, in my game, they are almost completely down.
Yeah.
Because it's just... So that will be lovely. So when you're walking in Solstheim on the snow, you'll have the softer steps and everything. That's do you know how far that mod is done? Is it
From what, like, I don't really speak to Enumero, but from like comments he's posted recently, it seems like we might be in luck. Like he might release it during modathon, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. That would
And
be really
the
nice.
Rat in the Pot overhaul.
Is it Random Pump? No. Random Pump did a few, but
Coronan the Barbarian.
Yes, and also once it's done with that, there's the Wailing Wrench as well from Clodius of Ardenfell.
Oh, I love the Wailing Wench.
I absolutely adore it. He started working on it, and he's let me get the PMs. Conan the Barbarian. Go. And the spot for it. There we go. That is where it's gonna be. This is Pelagia. So it should be there. It's a nice spot for it.
Down by the water.
It's not too far from
no,
the...
Yeah.
Yeah, the lake is up there. The tomb is down there. So yeah.
Yeah, there's not really any place in Vardenfell that's ideal for it, unfortunately. There's
not really, yeah.
There's not really any big naval cities.
No, there isn't for the pirate theme. But maybe closer to Evanheart, but Evanheart is really prime estate. Like there's already that little bit just south of it. So many mods are there, and a little bit north of it, so many mods are there as well. At least this spot is free for the time being. For the time being, but that's going to be quite a lot of work. I think Coronan wanted to improve the old animations as well, to keep the atmosphere.
Animations were already pretty good, but if you can improve it, that's even better.
To be honest,
the new animation work. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Greatness had like you could actually sit on a bench, and I'm like, yes.
And like he and I cannot say his name. Frinchand.
Nobody can. You're very brave for attempting it. You're very brave for attempting. Like, hopefully, maybe one day I could get him on chat and just say, so what is your name? Can you say it really slowly and articulate for us?
Yeah, just say it a few times and then we'll record you and then we'll have like a record that we can try and learn
So
from.
Yes, I really like the work of press a button and place the name. But yeah, so sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh no, I was just enthusing. Like he's now got it so that you can play animations in first person and while you're moving. So there's talk about being able to do proper combat mods and like active blocking, and it's really exciting.
I don't really want active blocking personally, but that's because I suck at computer games.
Yes, I'm with you there.
So it's between Morrowind and Oblivion and then Skyrim. Yes, I'm very happy that there is no active blocking. Josh Wen, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. So no active blocking. I'm very happy with that. However, some good kicking, that would be nice.
Oh, the other thing they thought they could do is add like animation points so that level designers could set a point and NPCs would try to play an animation there. Or if you add certain items into an NPC's inventory, they would like play animations related to it.
Wow.
So many possibilities.
That would be so amazing. That would be because right now with animations, basically you need to modify the whole animation file, like the skeleton, and you can put only that many animations into it. I don't even know how it works properly, but like one NPC will have a set of animations and that's it. There would be idle 1, 2, 3, 4 to 9, I think. But yeah, looking forward. I think animation is the last frontier when it comes to Morrowind modding.
Definitely, it's been a brick wall for so long that we really can't do much about, but I think it's now been broken.
Yeah, slowly but surely. Josh Hay just wanted to say, I recently got the Morrowind itch. It's a good itch. You need to scratch it good. And luckily stumbled on your fantastic modding guides, without which I'd be completely lost. You're very welcome. It pleases my ego to know that I help people play more Morrowind. It's my mission fulfilled. Uh, the Moro Souls have an active blocking via holding sneak. It's still work in progress, but waiting for Open Morrowind Lua to fully develop. It's gonna take a little while, but yes. We have actually even with Morrowind, there's a number of mods that lets you block. There is Next Gen Combat that has active blocking. I'm not sure, we don't have the... You can choose to enable it or not. I never do because, but yes, you have active blocking there. There's a few mods that add MWE, Morrowind Enhanced back in the days. Like we've had active blocking for a long time. I just never choose to use it because I can't fight. That's the truth. Uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm with you there. That's why all my quests pretty much just dialogue only quests. I don't like fighting.
Yeah, like I like it. I like that it's automated. Though I really also would like a proper dual wielding mod. Axe has given out some good stuff. What is it called? Double
I
chin?
think he's working on it. There's some screenshots in the MWSE channel of like
double chin is already a
wielding,
thing. And in all his latest videos, you can actually see. I did try it, and in terms of immersion, because you have different sorts of movement, we've had like shields that would actually be swords. And so you would whack your sword, and every once in a while you would block. So it would be like you swing your other sword. But that was not super immersive. With this, you do have a variety of animations. So it really looks like you're fighting with two swords. But then I was trying to do the combos again. Not my strong suit. I was trying to do these. And I think I successfully did that. My problem, and it's the same problem I have with 4NM combat, because I don't have feedback, I never know if I actually did the combo properly. Like I need to be told, well done. What you've done right now, that's the good thing. Try to do it again.
Yeah, you need like the multipliers flashing up as you do the combos correctly.
Yes, so I know I'm doing it properly and that sort of thing. But it's not because the mod is wrong. It's just because I need some hand holding when it comes to combat, like a lot of hand holding. But we do have something, and yeah, it's gonna be really cool. And Axe has been like so many mods. I think he might be the modder that's published the most.
He's been breaking up his combat overhauls and such into like individual mods, which I know a lot of people will be really happy about.
So that's the new ones. So 15 mods to date. It is because like 4NM, actually it's not even 4NM is not just combat. It's an everything overhaul. And so many people like me, I asked, I say, yes, I really love the totem spells because they saved my life so many times. And so now I can have them even if I'm not playing 4NM. So it's really good. And I'm really hoping that people will try those different features. And when they get used to them, they're going to go, well, you know what? I might as well just go ahead and and use the big overhaul. Where are you, big overhaul? There. And use the big overhaul. Because it's a lot of fun to play. Challenging, because I die all the time, but fun.
It's the main thing. Like,
very cool.
As long as you have fun while you're dying.
Yeah, with that, always. Or sometimes it's watching Duke die. It's so many ways. I'm glad I'm not the only one who likes vanilla combat. I like it. I mean, the hit and miss, especially after having 100% hit for a long time, that was kind of hard. I was like, oh, why I'm missing is so horrible. And I was going to reinstall something so I have 100%, but why aren't you showing me just stealth? Oh no, stealth improved. Has Mort renamed his mod?
I think he did rename it. Yeah, it used to be just stealth.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm not going nuts. But one of the options, I don't know if we can see it there. Yes, there we go. Attacks. There's no cliff races, autocrats. You can't trick me. Attacks made from stealth always hit. And for me, that's a complete game changer. I was going to go with 100% miss. But with Mort's mod, where I know that if I'm sneaking and I sneak right, that it's one of the perks of being good at sneaking, you get 100% chance. So I'm keeping the vanilla hit and miss system, but I will try to sneak all the time. Hopefully, that's the idea.
Yeah, this is definitely a good time to play a thief.
Oh my god. Did you, I don't know if you were there when we tried stealth and we tried distraction as well.
No, I wasn't there, unfortunately.
Oh, it was so much fun. Like between stealth, that overhauls, so and you can tweak it to how difficult or how easy you want it. And then you want distraction. And together with that, you want axes, dash. So you have distraction, where you can pick any sort of throwing items, and if you go in and throw it somewhere there, the NPC is going to go, what was that? And start walking there. Meaning that while they're walking somewhere and cannot see you, you can sneak real quick to the next whatever obstacle that's going to prevent them from seeing you. So that makes it super fun, like dun, dun, dun. And then with dash, where essentially you're going to spend a lot of your fatigue / stamina to have a burst forward or in any direction. And I tested it, you can do that while sneaking, but it really, really uses up your stamina. So what you can do, especially if you're in first person, like it's immersive enough, you can be sneaking and you're hiding behind a pillar, you throw something so the NPC looks the other way, and then you dash to go to the next pillar. Like you can do the proper, I don't know, I can't explain it right, but you know, we see that in usually in parody, someone in commando, and they're sort of rolling, they're doing the funny roll to go from one side to the, you can do that in Morrowind. And that's super.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I
think
know.
Mort is working on like adding lighting awareness to it as well.
Yes.
So that and I think Operator Jack has given permission to include douse the light.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be just once all that comes together, it's so exciting.
Yes, you will have a proper thief experience.
Now all we need to do is overhaul the interiors to like give proper ways of sneaking around them and multiple entrances and
but
let people come in through the windows.
I thought, is it light and darkness? I mean, there's Necro's edits, and then I forgot, was it Red Furry Demon? True Lights and Darkness. But in True Lights and Darkness, I think there is an option where essentially, Necro's version is better. But essentially, do we have it there? Not really. But you could say, if it's not an actual item, an actual light item, don't
let there be darkness.
Exactly. So all those bulbs that are added, usually in the caves, but also in interiors, these don't do anything. And if you have Melchior's glow in the dark, then you already have those windows showing light, so you don't need those bulbs doing. Like, I think, we're there. We can already have an experience where the only light that we see are the candles and the lanterns. I think, if I remember properly from the settings.
I love midnight oil as well. Walking into a room and then being able to switch lights on and off, it's so satisfying.
And even if you're just camping, like you built up your camp and you put your lantern and you read a book, especially like, can you imagine? I cannot. Like a year ago, you would not believe it. You can sit by your fire, you can sit next to your tent, you can read a book, and when you're done, you put your book down, you turn the light off, and you go to sleep. It's
a whole new world of immersion.
Yeah.
Like if you told us a year ago that all of this would be possible, we would have, like, even with Lua, we would have said you were mad.
Yeah, even 2 years ago when Null published the first nightly build for MWSE, like, cool things. Yeah, you can pick up plants without having the whole graphic herbalism mod that was quite heavy and everything had to be patched for it. Like, there were cool things already. You go, that's super cool, but at that time, me at least, I was not able to imagine the sort of stuff we could do today with Morrowind. So super exciting. How you doing, Shadow? Progressing with your mod? And do you want to tell us what you're working on, actually? Or is that secret until it comes out? Next question for you, Luce. What is your all-time favorite mod? Or a few. It's impossible to say all-time favorite, but can you tell us about a few mods or a mod that you would never play without? Leaving out the obvious like MGE and maybe a body replacer.
Yeah, the one that always gets me, like, if I don't have it installed, I have to run out and install it immediately, is Glow in the Dark. I just love the atmosphere of having the windows light up at night, and absolutely stunning.
That Glow in the Dark, like, I have many. These are my mods that I'm currently working on, but Elder Disc, here we go. These are my Morrowind installs. And in my vanilla one, it's bare. Actually, no, my install one is somewhere else. But I have a zipped version of Morrowind that has the bare minimum that I will never play without. And Glow in the Dark is part of it. I cannot imagine why you wouldn't want to use it.
No, just it's absolute necessity if you're playing on the original engine. And even though OpenMW has Glow in the Dark compatibility, doesn't it?
I'm not sure.
I think it does. I think it's like weapon sheathing and graphic herbalism. There's built-in compatibility.
Well, at least something for them. It's nice that they have something. There's been a few mods actually. I go, oh, that looks interesting, and it says Open Morrowind only, and I go, hey, good for you, Open Morrowind. It's not very often that somebody on the original engine with MG and MWSE cannot use a mod because of the engine they chose to use. So it makes me sad when that happens, but at the same time I go, okay, that's fair. Once in a while, that's fair.
Like, turnabout is fair play and everything. There's some really nice UI mods for OpenMW.
Weather Bears, I think it was.
Is Weather Bears the one that has like the circles at the top left-hand side?
Okay, it's a different
with
one.
The really elegant looking
A visitor. What brings you to Living Dwarf?
Welcome, visitor. Marcus, hello. I can't remember the name exactly. But I think this one might have been also for Open Morrowind. No, this one is for us actually. What do you know? But yes, it was absolutely lovely. The one that was out before, but I'm not sure. User interface maybe would be. No, thank you. Big icon stats. I hope that JC is going to produce like not increase, I can't speak, oh my goodness, it's going to add to that mod. Because it's kind of nice after a while to you to see, all right, let's see what I've done. Queen's English, read aloud. I absolutely adore read aloud. Is that something you use?
No. I've never been very good at listening to like audiobooks or anything.
I don't use it for the audio at all. I use it for the Daedric language skill, where the more you read Daedric, you start deciphering the words. Morrowind UI.
No, cool. I didn't realize.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you just passed a really good mod actually. The better quest list.
Oh yeah, by Abbott. I know it's Verntech. I was confused with yeah, this is really nice.
Like that's another one that I think is just absolutely essential. It's such a quality of life improvement. Being able to hide quests that you don't want to do right now. It makes my OCD so happy.
I know.
Having a clean journal.
Morrow UI was it? Did I skip it though? Essential indicators is also a must, as far as I'm concerned. Friendly. Okay. Right click menu, absolute must.
Do you know I've never actually done the quest where you find the pillow book just for the. I'm aware of that mod, but since I've never actually found the book in game.
Is that no? That's not the one. It's not Morrowind. It's Morrow UI. Sorry. I see the one with the Redoran pillow book. Is that the one you mean?
Yeah. Is it Gandosa? Boethiah's pillow book. Just Bobby was suggesting Sloth's pillow book is an essential mod.
Is it though? I mean,
I'd be inclined to disagree, but
I'm not saying Morrow UI because that's an older one, and actually that's the one I'm using. I quite like it, the golden one. It's my preferred one. I mean, it's a matter of taste. Obviously, I cannot stand that. I know it's inspired from Oblivion, but I no can do.
I'm very attached to the original Morrowind UI. I think it's fantastic.
That is Morrow UI. I mean, maybe I just typed it wrong also. There it is. Wazabear. I was remembering the name almost properly. Thank you for the precision. Yeah, this one I think looks very, very nice. I really would not with the Oblivion background, but yes, that looks very, very neat with a little window to see what the item is. It's very Skyrim inspired, but you know what? It's not because it comes from Skyrim that it's bad or good. But this one I would have installed it if it wasn't for Open Morrowind exclusively.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful.
Very nice.
I love the item preview. It's so nice.
Yeah. Who knows? One day, maybe. We'll have to see. The Oblivion inspired, I mean, it works. Clearly, it works with texture replaces as well. And this one, no, this one is vanilla. I know there's also a Skyrim menu replacer that a lot of people are very keen on. Which UI overhaul? That's the one. For me, it doesn't work, but if I had played a lot of Skyrim, maybe I would be glad to have that. But I prefer this one, which I feel is mostly Morrowind, but with cleaner tops, basically. Other mod that you would consider essential? Or maybe no. Let's go with something more difficult. A mod that you play with most of the time, but is not one of the, you know, top 100 mods that people would mention, because who would not want to have glow in the dark?
Yeah.
And I
really like
ask you, as I
because-
ask you the question, I don't think I have an answer myself.
Yeah. There are so many underrated little mods.
Yeah.
I really like Barabbas's fireplaces. I miss those when they're not installed. And
Aren't they part of Beautiful Cities of Valenfell? Of Morrowind?
yeah, they
I
are
think they
part
are
of
now. Yeah.
Beautiful Cities, which I really appreciate. I recently switched over to Beautiful Cities, and I'm enjoying not having to make patches myself. I just outsourced that work to Random Pal, who is an absolute patch making machine.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the latest update had a patch that you provided.
For dartboards, yeah. The new the Dirty Muriels overhaul that Coronan and Endify did, and that Random Pal made compatible in Beautiful Cities.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely amazing. But love that
it is.
interior now. And there's like so many little notes and like so much personality. It's well worth a visit.
The only difficulty with Beautiful Cities of Morrowind is like I go in and I install my mods, and then I go, there's a patch, that's included, and so I have to go back and remove mods from my mod list because they are there already.
Yeah.
So it's basically keeping track of what's and then there was another one that I had, and it's not listed here. But it used to be part of one of the big cities. It was already merged in either Balmora, Aldrin, or Sadrith. I forgot. And then it's like, so I'm basically hunting down mods and removing them from my mod list. But it's good. It's really good. So many mods added, and it's also very nice that modders are keen, or at least give perms to Random Pal to add. Oh, we have Cladera, one of my favorite typos. I do that all the time. And Imperial, I type Imperial or something, like original, Imperial, and Caldera. There's Septims, Spetim. Why do I type Spetim? I don't know. But every time.
It's interesting that there are certain words where the typo just sinks into your head. And every time you'll spell it that way first.
Yeah.
I can't spell correspondence. Like at all.
And I don't think I've tried. Let's not.
Speaking of good mods, Correspondences of Morrowind is a really
such an old one. Mod. Yes, again, that's one that I've added to my mod list, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I've added it to my mod list, but now
I'm really glad that you like Clear Your Name.
Clear Your Name is great. Like I love it because role playing, right? And that's my old one.
I need to update that mod actually. Tamriel Rebuilt is implementing Nolus Atrius in Andothran in like one of the upcoming updates. So I need to change the Clear Your Name guy so that he's not Nolus. Otherwise there'll be a conflict there. So.
It's so hard keeping track of the updates with Tamriel Rebuilt. There's always so many new things. Yeah, I do have Correspondence of Morrowind. I do. So I'll have to remember to use the patch. Definitely. Jin, I'm dyslexic, so I can't spell for shit anyway. I hear ya. Hey, Huskavar, welcome on in. Especially like when writing with, pen and paper, I'm fine, but typing, even though I'm staring at the keyboard, what else can I do? Practice. And you were mentioning correspondence. Yes. Do you know? Boom, boom, boom. I've seen there the Modern Adventurer. That's a very, very old mod, but essentially it added a magazine to the game. Oh yes, that link is a bit annoying. And Morrowind. Not Morrowind, but what am I looking for? Adventurer's clothing. Yeah, adventure was not. I couldn't remember the other word. The Modern Adventurer. I mean, there's many volumes, but essentially, it's a magazine, it's a publication, and there are 6 of them all together. So if you enjoy Correspondence of Morrowind and Silstrider Courier, that is one more thing to read. I wish I had
Really
found.
cool. I've never heard of that.
It's super old, as you know, Morrowind modding history. It takes like every once in a while, it's worth it to just go mods and let's go. Let's do this. We're gonna look at all the birth sign mod, and you go through birth sign is not so bad. You go through all of them. I absolutely adore this one.
Some really like hidden treasure on MMH.
Yeah, some of them are really good. A lot deserve just a little bit of a brushing up, and they're good to go. Some are just atrocious, but you know, you can't win the jackpot every time.
Yep. So it's worth checking them out.
So
one category of mod that I find really helps with immersion is like anything that adds visual special effects, or this goes double for sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
So like R0's chimes mod, when you enter an Imperial shop, absolutely love that mod. I really miss it if it's not installed. Or the Earthquake mod.
The flies and the moth.
Yes. Or Heartthrum by Red Furry Demon and Co.
The Earthquake as
well.
well.
The heartbeat when you go up Red Mountain.
Yeah, I agree. Those really make a difference. Let's go. 44.
No, I don't think the search function is working still.
We'll forgive you. Now when I look at modders, I see if they've been modding other games, betraying us. Plaguebearer, was that fixed? I mean, now we have the Blight, and I know the Blight is going to be expanded, but that was.
I think Plaguebearer has been updated in a long time. Maybe that's something we need to chase R0 about. Give us disease.
Yeah, basically. Make those diseases be transmitted better. Where are the flies? Flies are there. Cave drip are there. And of course the corpus meat. It's just...
Oh, the corpus meat.
Oh, it's good. Where is it?
Oh, it's horrifying, but it's so good.
Like, I hate it, but I can't help it. I have to look at it. Random resources. Yeah,
and you watch it and it'll twitch and move and ugh.
And it blinks at you. Throbbing meat, there it is. Obviously this doesn't do it justice, but yeah, it's sort of...
Oh no, you have to see it in game.
Pulsating and it's just so bad, but I can't help, like, I have to look at it. It's terrible. It's wonderful. I hate it.
Yes.
But the one with the bell, what is it called?
I think it's called Store Chimes.
Store entrance chimes. Well, thank you for that. Add it to my mod list. I didn't have it.
It just plays like a little tinkle when you enter or leave the shop.
That's perfect. And I'm gonna put that down to audio. Well, thank you. Who would mod other games? Well, I don't know, Tel. You wouldn't now, would you?
Not even death can
Definitely not
save
Tel.
from me.
She'd never betray us like that.
Nah. Like, I've never modded other games. I mean, yes, I did make a house in Oblivion, and I put 2 houses together in Skyrim, but I never published anything. I am true to Morrowind. Obviously, just kidding. It's fine to mod other games. It's perfectly alright. And that's your mod, Tel. Is there a quest with your Bone Cave dungeons, or is it a dungeon crawl? This is lovely. I mean, at the same time, you take random bow, and then you take the assets from Of Ashes and Blight, and you get perfection. I love those shells. Actually, they remind me very much of your shells in Caldera Mages Guild.
Yeah, I think it's using the same resource, but yeah, I love those built-in shells that Kiteflyer made.
And
So
Barabbas. Yeah.
it makes the whole room feel more 3D
Mm-hmm.
because it's set back slightly. I love them. And I love that Random Pal is just making these interior overhauls.
I mean,
that shop was so boring before. Like the improvement is night and day. This one's actually based on something that Easy Caldera did. There's an alchemist shop.
So for beautiful cities of Morrowind, I don't think Easy's Caldera was used. I know that a lot of inspiration came from Easy's mods.
Yeah, so I think there's one or two things that are kept from Easy's Caldera, and there's definitely a lot of inspiration taken from it, but it's not directly included. Easy is very generous with permissions.
Yeah.
It's something I really appreciate.
I think it's I mean, nowadays it's very much about lore friendliness, concept art, and there's very few people nowadays who'd say, no, it's my mod, don't touch it.
Yeah, but you still do get one or two. I asked for permission to make some patches recently from someone, and got refused and blocked by that person. Which
blocked?
Was yeah.
Wow, that's a bit harsh. I mean, like we were talking about it today in the Discord, because for wares I'm working on Wesley's mod, so that they use wares and everything, but I can't put the assets in the zip because there's no perms. So we were talking about perms, and my opinion was that, yeah, sure, perms are annoying and they can be not always really justified, but then they're a modder's prerogative. So
absolutely, that's my policy as well. I was a bit upset about how that conversation with that modder went. Naturally, I wanted to make a patch so that more people would be able to use their work, because I do think it's fantastic. But at the end of the day, they made it. It's their work, and you have to respect the decisions that they make about their work.
It's a shame. I mean, I do feel that we get more mods by sharing things.
Absolutely. Like, this entire community is standing on the shoulders of giants.
Very true. Very true. And then giants standing on the shoulders of giants.
You end up with a Morrowind skyscraper that even Dark Elf guy would be happy with that level of verticality.
that would be much verticality indeed. Right. Maybe I should mod. I mean, that was the plan originally.
I've sort of distracted you, taking you down a modding memory lane.
But just talking about mods, it's yeah, I love that. And you talk about going down memory lane. Like if you go in the Morrowind modding history, and at the bottom, it always shows, well, always, it's a bit broken, okay, but it shows some mods that have screenshots, and suddenly you go, oh, Silver is furniture pack. Oh my god. I used to absolutely adore that stuff, and I've been trying to use it in mods, but like I like this one very much. It just doesn't fit in the game, but every house I've ever tried to make, I've been trying to use it. It's just a little bit too fancy. But anyway, those were some things that we used a lot.
I think I'm using one of Silveri's meshes in Balmora Guild Expanded. The fireplace in the Fighters Guild is one of hers.
Silveri was a girl. I never know in the internet.
Well, I have just assumed. I could be completely wrong.
That's the only thing we can do, honestly. But yes, Oblivion style, Latias floating island. Wow. Anyways, if you have many hours to kill, just go down and look at things. Like when I did that the last time, where is it? Just have too many notes. Oh, check this out. Ta-ta. I have my notepad from the Elder Scrolls, the unofficial Elder Scrolls wiki. So it's there, and I try to not use it too much. But where? I know I have it somewhere. Maybe I've misplaced it, but the last time I went through Morrowind modding history, I got a list of 12 mods, and I was like, I would want to redo or improve or implement better those. Just, in case we run out of modding projects.
I don't think there's any such thing. Like, no matter how much time you spend modding something, the minute you get back in game, there's always something that you need to tweak.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Need more mod. And really, I mean, there's a modathon which helps, getting you going. But all I'm trying to do, I am just trying to install Morrowind. But obviously, as you install the mod, you go, oh yeah, but this, I need to patch it with that or that. My God, this one has been on my to-do list for years. Use Lua to sort things. Make sure it integrates nicely with shinies. And some lighting wasn't good. But anyway, just
like me and Balmora guilds expanded. It's just perpetually on the to-do list.
Yeah. Do you actually have a lot of things you need to do for it?
Yeah, it's sort of in the state where there are 4 or 5 quests half implemented, and I can't remember where I left off with them, so I'm going to have to go through and just try and pick up the threads again. And then I'd like to go through and add all the Avashin Blight resources and just really bring it up to date, so there's definitely a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that the new instrument mod, I'm hoping to maybe steal an Argonian themed instrument from
musical instrument.
Yeah. The new message just like absolutely spectacular. Yeah.
For my Bard mod, I used Korana's assets, and some of them were quite nice. But when I looked at them in Nivscope, I could tell they were a little bit messy. But still, there were quite a few.
Definitely been
not that
a lot of knowledge gained about meshes over the years.
But some of them were really...
I love looking through these images of Korana's stuff because that's basically my childhood. I adored Korana's mods when I first started playing Morrowind.
I'm right there with you. I started modding because of Korana. Solstheim Castle was the first one, and I was like, there they are. And I was like, oh my God. And then it was actually even worse than that. Like, there was Solstheim Castle, there was the cottage, Escaden Rose Cottage. Loved it.
Yes, oh, it was gorgeous.
The underwater palace, and anyway, across all our houses, I was like, oh, I really want that kitchen, but I really need this bathroom, this lab. And so what I loaded all the mods, and I just changed the doors so that the corridor from Solstheim Castle would take me to the kitchen of Escaden Rose Cottage, and it was just a terrible mess. My game crashed a lot. That was my first attempt at modding, trying to get what I felt was the very best of every house that Korana ever published. And those are the instruments. A little modern. I quite like this one though.
I think it's like the textures are a bit bright.
Yeah.
To fit in with like the current vogue for Vanilla Plus, but like I would love to be able to play a harp. Just imagine now that we have proper animation support, being able to sit there and just pluck away at a harp.
But
it'd be so soothing.
Wow, like the degree of precision that would be required, because you don't mean just you activate it and it goes. You mean like actually plucking specific.
Well, I was envisioning like some sort of like vaguely approximating like. Moving your hands around the
something
strings,
like
not quite as intricate as actually playing.
Okay, so something like Bardic Inspiration, where you'd select a tune and then you would have the animation and the tune.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure that's possible. We just need to be patient. That's all. That's all it takes. I did not even remember this. Look at that.
Oh, that looks so tasty.
That looks pretty good. I think Merlord could add that to Ashfall. I wouldn't mind seeing my stew. Let's just request more features. He's gonna be delighted. I use those every once in a while. I like to use different ones, but yeah, there's just so many
Something
things.
I really liked in Karana's meshes that I don't think was ever made into a proper mod. I think just a resource, but there's a pirate resource pack that has like torn clothes and stuff.
I
that
think
I
the
really
pirate
like.
resource pack is somewhere.
Not
the stuff that
you
was.
don't really see. Everything is in pristine condition, and I really like that there's tears in the clothing and.
Lady Death Companion. What I liked about her is she had a pet. Oh crap! This the creature in Tribunal. A pet Durzog. She has a pet Durzog, and I'm a sucker for pets. So I think. I really like that too.
Yeah, I love.
There we go. Pirate resource. Okay, maps. That's not it. No. There we go. So it is there.
Yes, these the properly filthy looking torn clothing and such.
Yeah, those were not in Clothiers of Ardenfell. Not even these, I don't think. The torn clothing costs twice as much as stuff in One Piece, probably.
Yes.
Because it takes extra special care to keep it all together.
Well, it's because Morrowind cloth is so durable, like blight moth silk. You really have to put in effort to tear it up, so that's why it costs more.
More work. It's a lot more work. I mean, they're proper vintage antiques, wearable antiques. Yeah. Was there ever a decision made in the community that if permission stated that the mod was open to be used as a resource or patches made to better integrate them into other mods? There's sort of a consensus. If the perms are not stated and the modder is not active and you've tried to reach them in whatever old email they usually include in their readme, if you cannot reach them, then it's okay to use, but obviously if they ever show up, then you would either get permission from them or you would have to take the mod down. But there's something that a lot of people are not aware of. Is this page right here. I mean, that goes for older modders, but essentially that was one of Fligative's initiative, adding that page. And so many modders of the previous era actually specified their perms here for all their mods. So if there's nothing in the README, you can go and check that page as well. I do hope yes, I am there. Okay, good. Luce, did you ever specify your perms here? You might be too young.
I've been around for a long time, but I changed names a bunch of times, and because I did that like embarrassed teenager thing where I said something I thought was vaguely embarrassing on the old forums, and then I had to change my name because I just like freaked out with anxiety. So I think I changed my name like 4 or 5 times in the very early days of Morrowind modding.
That's very Merlord. But yeah, nowadays most people are super open with the perms.
Yeah, no, I really like the trend towards cathedral modding that the community's taken.
For example,
I think it just benefits us all.
Yeah. If you had a vague show, we're back on harping. Sorry, I should have read that before. You didn't make a change. There was an old mod to play the lute. I just have to type A and B and Google remembers where I want to go. It's amazing. Not Bardic Lute. There we go. Battle Lutes by Zargoth. And essentially you could, that would be maybe the latest version, using MWSC, you could actually play a tune yourself. So it's not impossible to do. I imagine it would be very, very tricky. It was Fligurity's forums post on his own forum that was the birth of this homepage that you were reading. Oh, okay, so that was they were connected. So that's the place to go for perms. I did put something on Discord inviting modders to add their perm there. But are you aware of the limit for a permission, which would save me of time limit?
It's really a time limit. It's more that if the author hasn't said specifically, don't use my stuff, and if you've made a good faith effort to get in contact with them, the community attitude is generally use it, go ahead, make sure you credit very clearly, and if they ever do turn up again, reach out to them, and if they have an issue with you using your stuff, be prepared to take it down.
Yeah, that's usually the way it is. And then I think a good modding practice is, even if it's open perm, I mean, that's what I try to do with my own mods. I try to, in my mod page, I always link to the original mod, and then obviously take the credit and then go through the readme of those people and credit the people that they credited as well. And I think if you add the original readme, if you link to the original mod, you clearly state that it's also something that they worked on, which I just put the name of the modder, so that way we're, it's very clear. I think if you do all those things, they were open perms for this one and the other one. But if you do all that, original readme, state on the mod page, there's also the credit. No, it's not there. There's also the credit section. Put it everywhere you can. I think it's fine. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do that for Wesley stuff. But
Wesley still makes me a bit sad. I was so excited for his the upcoming mods, the clothing overhaul that added new clothing based on race, and the menagerie mod.
Melisandre Menagerie. Yeah, basically Fcot, Fine Clothiers of Ardenfell, that I never play without as well. Fcot is essentially just a preview of these, and it was gonna have so many things. It's on Great House Figurative, isn't it?
Yeah. The expanded Fcot and is up there on the list with mods like London Rook's Outlander that I'm really sad were never released.
It was so gorgeous. I mean, if you just look at the Vivek, what was the redesign? No, it's not redesigned Vivek. Is it?
Dramatic Vivek?
Dramatic, thank you. Dramatic Vivek is absolutely gorgeous. Wesley, there you are. And on the forum, a few years ago, he actually published a high definition for his face replacer.
I didn't realize that Wesley reappeared for a while.
That must have been maybe 5 years ago. And why am I not seeing?
Oh, I thought you hadn't been seen since 2008.
It was on the forums. Maybe I don't realize just how quickly time passes.
Oh, it worries me sometimes.
Morrowind money, would that be there?
What, nearly 10 years since Skyrim was released? That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Oh. Pluto posted in 2019. Mod request, music expansion. But when Great House Figurative was not, I'm not sure if I can make a search to find the post from someone. It's been forever. I used to go to this website every day. That, Planet Elder Scroll, and Bethesda forum, that was That was the place to go. Morrowind May modathon 2018.
The one site that I really miss, just because it was where I downloaded my first mod, is the list.
Which
it
one?
had this, like, it was called the list after its founder.
Oh, yes.
And it
Like
disappeared
like
years
that?
and years ago. Yeah, one of the really old ones. Yeah, that's it.
There was also a Modders, right? There was a Modders website that did blood and gore, I think.
Yes, that's the one.
And like some crazy, at the time, again, some crazy stuff when it comes to scripting. Come on.
Like, given the limitations of Morrowind script and just the resources that were available, like,
Blood and
incredible
gore.
what people were able to do.
Doors and logs. Dwemer clock, my goodness. Give your orders. Classic. Lug bash. Seasons. Like, I wish we had that again. This doesn't work with MGE anymore. But essentially, depending on the season, the trees would have different textures or different leaves, like they would actually go away. Surely we can do that nowadays without having to script every tree and say, check for the date. If the date is this, remove this model, add this model. Because the scripting was crazy.
Like, I think you could do the actual switching with switch nodes the same way you have for glow in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
But MGE would be the issue. Like, we'd need support for changing distant land.
Yeah, distant land is a problem, true.
But I know Null was working on a merge of MGE and MWSE, so I wonder if it would be possible now.
It would be really, really good. And again, once you have that worked out by other people, obviously, then you can have the grass. Like the grass would turn a bit yellow in the winter months and would be a bit more vibrant in the summer. That would, wow, make more
like have flowers blooming in spring grass, and that would be so good.
That'd be amazing. So that's a mod I used to love, really, really. But with distant land, it just doesn't work, unfortunately. But yeah, Delis. It's funny because I always write Delis, but no, it's 2 words, Delis. I suck at reading names. But anyway, they did some crazy stuff back in the day. Blood and gore. I want to see that. Like, we have decal now. I'm sure we can do it. And again, we, other people.
Volunteer.
Yeah.
Volunteer some other people to do it for us.
Well, we'll see. I mean, to be fair, we already have so many mods, more mods than we can play.
Yes.
Like I'm bookmarking and downloading mods faster than I play them. And I think for a modder, I might be one of the people who actually plays the most because I stream twice a week. But unless I'm just talking about mods.
Yeah. Honestly, I think you play the game more than a very large chunk of the rest of us put together.
Escobar, you tried combining season script with crafting scripts that allow you to chop trees and replace them with trees of the same season. Drives me. I can imagine that's completely nuts because you're referring to the old Morrowind crafting scripts. Oh no, hang on. Morrowind crafting doesn't change the trees. There was also Mad Max. Or Max, I forgot. I think it's Mad Max. That had a crafting mod as well. But anyway, I can imagine Escobar, like you're trying to put together 2 very, very complicated, complete Morrowind change the trees. Thank you, Denina. And is Mad Max, just Max? Maybe just Max is the author. Who did Pegasus House? No. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm running out of coffee. Yes, that. That's it. I can't English anymore. I can't words. The tree chopping is something I created. All right, so you added that. And you've had no luck with the latest MWSE. I know you said you mentioned that you tried it a while ago. Because you're not using the nightly build, are you? And at the same time, you've already worked on so many mods to make them work with your install. I can't imagine that you would switch to the newer MWSE and then have to start over. That would be crazy. Like the amount of work you've already put in your install. And starting over, that'd be... I don't think I've ever seen the list mod. I remember Elric, Mythic mod that had the mods listed for the mage and like by theme, and I really, really like that. But I don't think those exist anymore.
Yes, we've been
There's so many
expecting
sites
you.
that have just disappeared. It's very sad.
It is. I mean, we were lucky that Flickety got Morrowind modding history that was able to sort of batch download everything from a Planet Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, well, we lucked out big time having Flickety around and having like the like go ahead from his company to actually upload all of that.
Yeah, that was very, very fortunate. And then it took forever to categorize all those mods. Like you can see for each, this one was done automatically, but a lot of mods, if you look at them, the upload, okay, well, you're not going to show me one that does what I want to show, right? No, you're not. This one was good. But anyway, there were a bunch of people that looked at the mods and then put them in the proper category, copied the description from the readme of the mod to put it in the description here. There we go.
The curators.
Yeah, the curators.
We also owe a big debt to.
Denina did a lot of that. I did a little bit. I joined towards the end, so I didn't do much. But again, as I was doing that, basically I was like, oh, that's a good mod. Let's take it. Oh, that's a good one. Let's take it. M. Serrano, hello. You loved your Bard's Life mod. I heard that Bardic Inspiration is getting a major update. Do you know about that? Yes, Bardic Inspiration already got a major update, and I really encourage you to go and download it. I need to update a Bard's Life to work with it. But if you look at Bardic Inspiration, it was updated in April, so quite recently. And the biggest thing is you now have a performance skill. So it's one of your miscellaneous skills, basically. So that's... You can learn songs from other bards. So that's something that I had implemented in a Bard Life. But this is better. This is better. In a Bard Life, I also had a music skill, but that was done through a global variable that I was keeping track of. This is much better when you... Is there a screenshot? There is not a screenshot, but when you look at your character sheet, you see all your major skills, minor skills, miscellaneous skills, and then you have other skills, including performance, and you can see the level and your progression and everything. So that's super, super cool. And the other thing that was updated, when you go to an inn, you talk to the publican there any time of the day, and you book yourself for 6 o'clock that day. So you don't have to be there at 6. You book yourself and then you go back. I need to update a Bard's Life, essentially. So for now, if you want to play as a Bard, just go with... I mean, you could have a Bard's Life 2 as well, but completely ignore, you know, the whole loot thing and the song thing and everything. What I want to do with this one, I want to cut out the whole loot and music that I had, because what Merlord has is a lot better and a lot smoother. And then I want to simply keep the business part of it. And then I had little bits of dialogue. When you get well known as a bard, people would come to you and they'd give you little gifts like fans and everything. My goodness, that is quite a description. So yeah. But I would definitely recommend you use Merlord's mod for the loot aspect of things, and this one for the business part where you have your inn and you build it up. And even that, I could update it. Look at that. The animations, they don't quite fit, do they? It's very, very early 2000, isn't it?
But hopefully by the end of the modathon, the Luomancers will have worked out animations, and you'll be able to just set like a marker and the NPCs will use it automatically.
Wouldn't that be great? And that is the gondolier. Abbott is really super cool, like with everything. I asked him. I said, "Hey, do you think you could make a little gondola that goes between my inn to the little farm further down the lake?" And he did. Very cool. Like I looked at the script and I was like, "Oh my god, it's no way, not happening." Yeah, so this one I definitely want to update. Also, all the things that get enabled as you progress through the quest, like each of them has a script, which means that on some machines you have a bit of an FPS hit. But again, with Lua, it's very easily done without the FPS hit. So I need to redo the whole thing, really. And the textures. Like, I don't know if you can't really see, but I made the bard shirt and the bard's armor, and there it is. It's very far, so you can't tell, but it's atrocious. And I used the same texture for the cuirass that's supposedly made of metal or leather, for the shirt that's supposedly made of cotton or some sort of textile, for the banner that's made out of wood. Anyway, I used the same texture, the same bad texture, and I just slapped it on everything. It's terrible. So one day I'll update it. One day.
You sound like you're being a good environmentally conscious citizen. You're reusing.
Yeah, gotta recycle.
You know what would be really cool? Once the musical instruments mod is released, like if we could collect all of the musical instruments and display them in your inn.
Mm-hmm. That would be really, really good. Already in this one, all of Korana's instruments, they are all in there. You can buy them in different shops, and when you put them in that, which is your instrument container, when you put your instrument in there, they would appear on display in different places, and then when you activate them, there would be a little whatever the instrument is. And you could choose to pick it up, meaning you would get it in your inventory, it would remove it from that, so they would be disabled from there. It's the basic script, Balmora PC Clothier mod?
Yeah.
And you just put the armor in the chest and they appear on the shelves. It's the same exact lines of a script, just duplicated many, many times to work with the instruments. But yeah, more instrument, that'd be pretty cool. We'll see how it goes. All right, I don't think I will be modding today. I think I need to be very honest about that. Was there a mod? Oh no, I have a question for you, because in your mods you do a lot of dialogues. Obviously, we have LDM? No,
LDM, yeah. The very originally named Lucevar's dialogue mod.
That works. So yeah, dialogue is definitely one of the things that you've done a lot, but you also build interiors and all kinds of things. So, and I think you can script and code as well.
A little bit, a very, very, very little bit.
Very little bit. So what is it you enjoy the most when modding? Is there something that you really prefer?
It's definitely the interiors and the cluttering. The dialogue's a bit of a compulsion. I feel like I need to do it otherwise things just don't quite. It feels incomplete. But there's definitely been times when I'm working on something for LDM and it's a slog, and I just do not want to write it, but it's incomplete, so I have to. But whereas when I'm working on cluttering something and I'm just panning around the room trying to think, how would this NPC walk through this room? What would they pick up? Where would they put this thing down? What do they need in their daily life? And just I get really immersed in it. Yeah, I love interior work.
Cluttering and interior work. I remember for Shal, we started working on Shal and you did that whole cave system. And then you were like, "Well, I'm gonna do the Daedric Ruin now," and you built something. I think this is Shal, and then you built something twice as big for the Daedric Ruin.
Yeah, I got inspired for some reason. I was like, hey, dungeon making is fun.
Let's
and
make
then I just
more.
was off. I really enjoyed that MMM team. Like working with you guys was a real treat.
It was really, really good. Of course, the fact that we won is nice too, but honestly, it was I really enjoy like a lot of. I think I haven't looked at the numbers, but I think Evanheart Underground. What do we call it?
Underworks.
Underworks. Yeah, I'm so bad with names, even my own mods. So, but I think if we look at the numbers, I think Evanheart Underworks is definitely more popular. But I really like Shal Overground.
Yeah, I think
like
there's
it.
a real charm to Shal.
Like you go in there and you get a whole story. Like you just go through and you're back. And normally by the time if you don't get lost in the cave,
Yes.
and like you go through and you go back and you've had the whole story and you know what happened there and you have some cool little rewards as well. Yeah, I liked it very much. Evanheart is cool too. And that was the year where I learned to keep the scope as small as possible. Just keep it small.
Because even when we were trying to keep the scope small, it still expanded.
Yeah, that was nuts. We really made things complicated with ourselves. They are making all the quests. Like each quest could start in 2 or 3 different ways and you could finish them in 2 or 3 different ways and some quests would intersect one with the other.
Yeah, I think I have to pick up a lot of the blame for how complicated that got. This is what I do with all of my quests and it's why it takes me forever to finish a mod. It's because I'll think, but what about that really obscure edge case? I have to cover it. And then
I remember that.
500 lines of dialogue that no one is ever going to see later. It's like, okay, now it's done.
For now.
Whereas someone else would just come along and go, hey, there's a really clear path from A to B to get this quest finished. And that's what 99% of players will want to do. And they have these clear steps. And I really admire people who can do that without getting
at
lost
the same time. That's exactly what we were saying about the dialogue. When you write that one line of dialogue that 1% of the players are going to read, but the 1% that reads it, or the few people that read it, like they feel like they found something. They found something quite special and quite unique. So when you go like, oh well, no, I would want to do that, and the mod or the quest lets you do that. That feels twice as cool as just following, the lights that are guiding you from point A to point B.
I think the ideal is having both people on the team. So you've got someone to do, like, they make sure that the quest actually gets completed and it doesn't just wander off into like infinite diversion land, and then just have someone adding on all the edge cases as we go.
Well, we did work really, really well, especially with Abbott just checking every time we did something, man. And it was like, well, I just corrected. Thank you.
Yes,
and then we'd update, and it would go, well, I have corrected that again, and oh no, I'm so sorry. I felt like a 5-year-old. But yes, it's like
working with Abbott is really good in that sense. Just he has such a sense for detail and getting everything absolutely correct and precise. And
I think that's one of the reasons why we won that year, because we managed to do everything we planned, so it felt like a complete mod, and the number of bugs was, it's not like there were none, but if I look at the updates,
given the size of the mod and how many quests we implemented.
Exactly, and it's like, okay, minor fixes. Oh, a journal update, oh, well done. And just a little script fix. It's like each update is a minor thing, but all of these are Abbott's. Like he's been, again, edge cases, little things, it's there. So yes, having a complete mod, relatively bug-free, was Very
Yeah, no, I
satisfactory,
think
very
I
enjoyable.
can definitely say about our team that we released quite polished mods, which is a rarity for MMM.
Yeah. So something to strive for every year from now on.
Yeah, lessons learned from that year. Got to carry them forward to the next one.
How was it this year with Teleron Chronicle? That's a lovely mod. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was one of the top mods for the longest time.
Yeah, that was another team I really enjoyed working with. I think Random Pal and Vegeta both being Italian and both enjoying working on city mods.
And
those two
good
really
time
bonded,
zone.
and they've gone. Yes, that's another important thing. Like,
yes.
Murlord, Murlord has words to say about time zone issues.
It's
I
just,
think
oh
it's very
my
fair.
god. I've done 2 madness with Murlord, and basically there was Murlord 12 hours before or ahead, I forgot, but a different day. Me, and then depending who we worked on, there was Dark Note the first year. Like, it's just like we covered the 24 hours. It was just crazy, staying late so that I could catch up with them, but then getting up early so that I could communicate with the other people, and fun. So time zones, yeah. We're talking to Lucevar, and no permadeath. I was gonna mod, but talking about mod is the next best thing.
Hi Glitch. Yeah, no, I've lured Danae down memory lane, and we're just chatting about mods and old MMMs and permissions and all sorts of like community things.
So yeah, that was fun. How do you feel? Hear me out. How do you feel about an all-girl team for the next Madness?
That could be fun.
Now, the biggest
Definitely,
problem
and I
is
would love to work with you again. So yeah, sign me up.
that'd be fun. You just have to find out who's a girl. Because that's
Yeah.
not easy. But yeah, that could be fun. This is lovely. I still haven't played the quest. Like, I've looked at the mod in the construction set, but I still haven't played the quest. It's super immersive.
We need to play some Telvanni characters.
Mm. And now you can plop your ashfall cushion and sit and chat with this guy.
Yes. Oh, I love the sitting feature of Ashfall.
Yes. A slaver requests a song. Oh, they like music too. They're not, without heart or feelings. Glisp,
Not much empathy.
I've talked with you, Glisp, so no, but I mean, if you insist for the duration of the madness, maybe we could work something out. Did you manage to do everything that you planned, or you had to cut some things out?
For Telerun, I think we got through the vast majority of our wish list.
Very nice.
I think there's more we could have done. And like,
it's always.
I think my initial vision was a little bit more ambitious than what it ended up being. But I think it's a good thing that it got toned down. I think what we have is just right to fit in with like a vanilla plus install.
The crutch. I don't use vanilla clothing anymore. It's just, well, those pants.
Yeah, the segmentation is really something there, isn't it?
You have played and bit Resident Evil Village. That's the latest one from Resident Evil. Contest. I know I won't be playing it because I can't handle the stress. It is the latest one. And were you happy with it? Because usually as time goes by, franchise or, game franchise, they sort of go down. So yeah, gotta play this one. I will eventually. It was pretty good. All right. Resident Evil is gross. It's really quite, yeah, but it's good too for the type of game it is. Right. You know what, Glisp? I'm sorry. You always come quite late when we switch from Morrowind to Baldur's Gate. It's not on purpose, I promise you. Luce, was there something, anything else that you wanted to mention, talk about?
There's a question that I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
which is, what's next on the modding agenda? What are you going to work on now?
Well, that's very easy. In there, I have many mods, and I need to make them where's where. So I need to go. I've already started Bob's Armory. Like, I'm going through any mod that adds any item and making it work with wares.
Wow.
That's it. It's just that, but it's gonna take a while. But once I'm done, it means that I can completely get rid of the Friends and Foes clothes add-on that were such a nightmare. I made one for Koranas, one for Wesley, one for Ivolga. It's just a nightmare, and then keeping track of what clothing clips with what. So once all of the shop and the clothing and armor mods that I like to use basically are made where's a where, that's what I call it. Where's a wares and Friends and Foe ready. Those are the exact terms. But once that is done, I won't have to worry about Friends and Foes. And if somebody has Clothiers of Vvardenfell installed, then Friends and Foes will have Clothiers of Vvardenfell items. If not, then they won't. So the amount of clothing and armor that Friends and Foes will have will be directly connected to exactly the mods that people have. So it should be just tailored exactly the way they like it. And I think I did mention my secret. It's not so secret. My secret plan, but this is not the right one. But yes, if we look at wares, I have the wares level list. So these are very straightforward: clothing, armor, weapon, blah blah blah. And then I have all the Friends and Foes level lists. I mean, right now they're gonna look empty.
So, in terms of like interaction with Friends and Foes and usable things from these clothing mods, there are some that just don't play well with the random like leveled list, and you get armor
when I need to do, basically I use Ken, my good friend Ken, and I turn him into a girl and then a boy and then a girl, and like she puts on the armor, and then I give him a shirt and pants to make sure that the armor and the greaves don't clip. If they clip, I don't add it. These lists right here are the Friends and Foes level list.
Yeah.
And so I would look at Cuirass. I make sure it works with the shirts. That's the biggest thing. I don't put, like, for the dresses, for example, Korana's dresses, I can't put them in common shirts. Like, they are shirt items, but they're not instead of a shirt. If an NPC has a shirt and any of Korana's dresses, it's just going to clip horribly. So what I did is I have a list for skirts for commoners, because the shirts from Korana's that are actually dresses, they use the right ankle, which is something that the trousers would use. So anyway, like, I had to experiment with all kinds of things to make the list, and now I know that a shirt item that is a skirt, that is a dress, sorry, can go in that list and it's not going to clip horribly. But then a lot of armor by Wesley, that is lovely, body, and body, better bodies. These I had to remove them, because if you have an armor like a cuirass from Wesley's and a shirt under it, even if it's a better body shirt, they overlap.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, is there a way of like clipping things like that into like lists that will only appear in like random loot and traders, but not on Friends and Foes?
Oh, these are the Friends and Foes lists, and they're used by nothing but Friends and Foes, and these are the traders list. So when I look at a mod, I take all the clothing and I make let's actually have a mod. F-card. I have not finished F-card, actually. That's a big one. But there we go, Allianz. This one is done. Alian has some clothing and Alian has some armor as well. So the clothing, I don't need to worry about it too much. Like I do equip it on Ken, my model, to make sure that it works, that it's not missing things. And then I just plop that I just grab all the clothing there and I make a level list for it and I put that in the traders level list there. And I do the same thing for the armor. However, this is all the armor's level list. However, that I have leveled it properly so that the strongest armor is not available from level 1. These, because they're all female armor, I didn't put them in the friends and foes level list. Because
so
it wouldn't
for
work.
these mods, everything will be available in like traders and bandit loot and such, but not everything is used by friends and foes.
Exactly.
That's
so I look at
perfect.
Each of them and then I make sure it goes nicely. So for example, Epcot, the shirts are in there, but the Ashlander shirts, they have their different list for friends and foes, and then Ashlanders have their different list in traders. It was, I mean, I can't even explain it clearly because it took me literally months to work out the best way to have the list so that once that is done, it's just a matter of plopping the right item in the right list and I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
But yes, so Allianz clothing, for example,
work,
it's in the shops. If you use, do I have it here? I think I do. Yes, if you have the full version of wares or it's modular as well, this one put things in traders. Also in Tamriel rebuild traders, also increases the number of items in of vanilla items, I guess, and put the Tamriel rebuild items everywhere, and containers as well. And for containers, I didn't want, you know, the problem with people adding their things to containers, they would go to whatever random pause one, you know, the chest where the crate and the, which is something that I really, really wanted to avoid. So with containers, I did go through every single chest, not the ones that belong to a single person because there's no point. But for example, this one, it has ingredients. So then I looked at it and I was like, okay, this might be an apothecary, this is a shop, 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 this is a shop. Okay, this is mostly in a shop. I am not going to put anything in there because traders already have something. And then I would look at this one and I go, oh, okay, this one is in some shops, but it is also used, well, not so much, but some of them would be also used in dungeons and caves and that sort of thing. So in that one, I would add just one, well, not gold, but I would just add one item from the wares list with a 40 or 50% chance none. So the items can appear in the containers and they can appear potentially in many containers, preferably those that are in dungeon, cave, tombs, shipwrecks, you name it. But they're not going to be everywhere because I didn't want to suddenly have an overabundance of goods everywhere. So containers can have one item, maybe. There we go. That's what I should have started with, that one item maybe to keep things balanced.
It sounds like you've done something that is very difficult, which is you've made it look easy. So from the end user's perspective, but it's going to seem very, very easy, but you've put months and months of very hard work into it.
Yeah, but now it's mostly done. Really, it's the hardest part is done. And hopefully then other people will use wares, and that way, you know, it's just going to enrich everything, including friends and foes. I won't have to do that.
No, I think this is a really awesome development, and thank you.
My pleasure. It's like, honestly, basically wares was a replacement for Biblos traders that would add crates to some traders, and I was like, yeah, but how about other traders and also compatibility, which is why I made my crates with the lovely editor marker that nobody sees.
Yes.
So that way it's fully compatible. And then the lists, because a lot of people would go, okay, I have whatever, an amulet. Oh, so I'm going to put it here. And then they'll go on and go, oh, but I'm also going to put it here, without necessarily realizing that this stuff is actually there. And so there would be an overabundance of their item because the level lists in vanilla are, well, they are what they are. So I was really, really careful to keep it in such a way, like clothes. Obviously, the more mods, the more options are available for clothes. But then if you look at there, wares will only ever add 10 items of clothing. And 10 is one of the most generous ones because, ingredients, it will add a few potions. Like, usually it's no more than 20 items. If we look at a regular trader will have some potions, some weapons, but anyway, it's maximum plus 20 types of wares. Because if there's too many of it, it doesn't make sense. But in vanilla, I felt there was not enough. And especially in Tamriel Rebuilt, like I would arrive to this new city and I hit the shops and I go, iron, steel, chitin. Not a very exciting shopping experience, I felt. And I like shopping in Morrowind, more than in real life, in fact. Easy, hey, welcome on in. The thing I don't like about wares and similar approaches is that the goods are distributed equally randomly across all traders. No, not mine. I was actually careful. I mean, to some extent, obviously, because otherwise you just multiply and multiply and multiply the list. But if you look at a regular trader, they're gonna get this many things. But if you look at a trader from the Imperial cult, they don't have any weapon or armor. But if you look at Red Oran, they actually get, actually not that many, just 3. They get more than Hlalu, who get more miscellaneous items but fewer weapons. So the shops should feel reasonably different from one city to another and one type of shop to another. But you're right. With that, it's a fact that any smith is going to have 5 extra pieces of armor, 5 extra pieces of weapon, and 5 extra hammers. If you have any mod that add hammers, obviously. But it's not sure. So it can be a little repetitive, but I've tried to alleviate that as much as possible. And I'm quite happy with it, so I don't want to change it, so don't give me ideas, please. I don't want to hear them. I was thinking of factoring classes and levels on how good or obscure the merchant is. I was considering for a long time making cheap and expensive items, especially for clothing. Like common clothing you could find at Ariel's, for example, but fine clothing you would only find at Millie's. But that would be multiplying everything. And even these containers, it took, actually, for me, it didn't take that long. But each container, for each type of merchant, the right type of container had to be placed in their cell. They had to be given ownership. It's not difficult, but it's tedious, to say the least. And to say the least, I'm talking about lists, and I get all confused. So then if I was supposed to take my clothes and this is only for Vardenfell, right? But Tamriel Rebuilt has many more. Yeah, it would be replacing and swapping around many things and making more lists, and that's about as much information as my brain can hold right now. So so I don't have those. But you're right, I wanted to do something by quality as well. So if you go to Cloudward and to the Fat Leg drop off, you shouldn't be able to find a gorgeous dress made of silk, but you might.
No, maybe the smugglers, they've captured a pirate ship where there was a noblewoman, and they've just taken her chest.
Exactly.
And they're selling her clothes.
That's my solution. I told myself, well, if you find something a little bit incongruous, then as you play, you go, I wonder how I got here, and then you can come up with a story. So I've done what I could, and the biggest thing I've done is to have different containers for different factions. That's about it. Well, Glisp, I'm gonna go too, actually. We're gonna be playing Baldur's Gate in a little bit. I see that Aurel is eating, and when it's done, we can play Baldur's Gate. He agrees. A framework for other mods to use, like your wares, can probably be made in Lua for that. Definitely, because when you look at Merlords, he adds items to traders based on their class via Lua, but as much as I love Lua, I absolutely love it. I just go nuts for any sort of mod that has Lua. However, I don't want to use Lua for the sake of using Lua, and I don't think, like, Lua can definitely do that. Maybe a little better, probably faster than it took me to do it. But it's not really, really better, and it means that a large portion of the players won't have access to it. So unless absolutely necessary, I don't use Lua. Also, to use Lua, I need to ask somebody to make the code for me, and I'm all out of favors. So that's another thing. But yeah, I don't want to use Lua for the sake of using it. That's my answer, even though I absolutely love Lua. We've been talking about mods for 3 hours. I think it's very clear that I love everything that Lua can do. So there you have it. And so after 3 hours, I have not modded. I knew that was going to happen. That's okay. We'll do that another day. Luce, thank you so much for coming in the chat and talking to us. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much for having me. I've really enjoyed this.
Absolutely,
thank you.
You're welcome anytime, especially if when you publish your mod. I'd love to take a look at it with you. It's always like when showcasing a mod, and I know because I absolutely adore Dark Elf Guy and the showcase, but every time he showcases one of my mods, I go, oh, but he didn't say that.
Yeah, it's like that one tiny little detail that I really like.
That I was really proud of. Like, I'm really, really proud of. And I don't remember what it was when he talked about Friends and Fires. I forgot. But anyway, it's not that important. So my point is that when the modder is there, well, they will point out things that would have gone completely unnoticed otherwise. So.
No, absolutely. Once I've published, if you want to have me back on, I would be
definitely very happy. Like anytime, like you literally, you come in the chat, say, hey, I can come on voice, and I say, well, sure, unless I'm in the middle of something. I know, seriously, just send me a message, and that will be my absolute pleasure. Chat, thank you as well for being there. I am going to take a 5-minute break, bathroom, refill coffee, and set up for Baldur's Gate. I'll talk to you in a bit. Luce, have a good evening. It's evening for you as well, isn't it?
Yep, just an hour behind you, I think.
Before me, because you're in the UK, right?
Yes.
I'm in Switzerland now. I've left London. No regrets. None whatsoever.
Well, I would move back to London in a heartbeat, but there you go. Can't have everything. I have a low cost of living, and that's enough right now.
Yeah, there's that. The only thing that I really miss, brunch.
Yes.
Can't beat brunch in London. That's it. And the parks are nice. But anyway, guys, I'll talk to you in 5 minutes if you're still around for Baldur's Gate. Luce, once again, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.
Hello, everyone. Goodbye.